On today's episode, new EV factory subsidies cause OEM blowback. Today's episode is brought to you by Engineering.com, a globally trusted source for engineering content. Check out this and many other exclusive videos for the engineering professional found only on Engineering.com TV today. There was a time when manufacturing, and particularly automotive manufacturing, there was a time when it was a competitive industry driven by entrepreneurial spirit and innovation. Now, choosing the location for a new factory was based on basic parameters like cost and access to labor, proximity to the supply chain and customers, transportation links, as well as the cost of land and capital. Now, somehow that all changed, and today, large manufacturers, particularly in the automotive space, use a different criterion, and that's government handouts. For decades, large OEMs have cross-shopped jurisdictions to find states and counties with favorable laws regarding labor rights and corporate taxation, but in my opinion, this has morphed into something more dangerous as a result of the imperative to switch to electric vehicles, and that is direct government subsidies. Now governments call these things investments, but they're not. Rarely do governments take an equity position in the projects they fund. And this isn't limited to the US. In Canada, the government has announced a staggering subsidy to VW to build an electric vehicle battery plant in southern Ontario, $13 billion. Now, VW itself will invest $7 billion and the operation is expected to employ 3,000. Now, down the road from the site for the VW operation is another EV battery project under construction by Stellantis and LG. At least it was under construction because work has now stopped. Why? Because Stellantis wants more government money, especially since they've seen a major competitor of theirs hoover up $13 billion. I don't blame them. Now, the obvious unsustainability of handing endless amounts of taxpayer dollars to large manufacturers to locate operations in a state or province is clear. It distorts markets and it can produce inefficient supply chains. Oddly, there is a potentially major role for Canada in the EV space as a supplier and refiner of critical raw materials used in the production of the batteries and motors, materials like nickel and cobalt. Now, strangely, the Canadian government has decided to not pursue raw material production and refining as a key national industry, but instead wants to fight against low-wage jurisdictions in Mexico and right-to-work states in Dixie. Irrational? Yeah, you bet. Will it win votes? Very likely. But in the long run, winning ball games by bribing the umpire just isn't sustainable. Well, that's it for today's episode of End of the Line, brought to you by Engineering.com. For our deeper engineering series, visit Engineering.com TV for exclusive shows like Manufacturing the Future, Designing the Future, and the Engineering Roundtable, not found on our YouTube channel. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching.